Italy, a country the world loves for its history, culture, and beauty. Millions of visitors flock to the great art cities every year. But the true soul of this country hides here, in its towns. These urban gems offer a unique experience. The authenticity of a village and the services of a city, but without the crowds of large centers. In these streets, you'll savor true Italian cuisine. You'll experience centuries-old traditions. You'll discover artistic treasures hidden from the world's eyes. Welcome to the beating heart of Italy, where the past breathes in the present, where every alley leads to a forgotten tale. Italy boasts over 20,000 cities and towns, each with its own history and unique character. Major cities like Rome, Milan, Florence, Turin, etc. have always attracted millions of tourists. For this very reason, today we will skip all the crowded destinations to show you lesser-known cities, often overlooked, but where the true heart of Italy beats. Let's begin. Perugia. Perugia stands proudly on its hill, with mighty walls embracing a historic center of generous beauty. Corso Vannucci, the main street, is an open-air living room. Here, university students mingle with tourists, creating a lively and international atmosphere. The Fontana Maggiore, a medieval jewel, is not only beautiful to look at, but tells the city's story through its sculptures. Art is everywhere here, from frescoed churches to modern murals, all the way to the Palazzo dei Priori. Every summer, the streets fill with music during Umbria Jazz, a festival that attracts artists from around the world. A short distance from the city's beating heart, Borgo the 20th of June offers a fascinating contrast. A vibrant and colorful street that blends historical past with urban modernity, offering a variety of experiences, from artisan workshops to elegant cafes, all nestled under the benevolent gaze of the city's ancient walls. Palermo. Palermo is a mosaic of cultures, where each domination has left its mark. The Norman Palace, with its Palatine Chapel, tells centuries of history in a riot of gold and mosaics. The cathedral, a mix of architectural styles, reflects the city's multifaceted soul. Mondello, with its white beach, offers a refuge from the summer heat. The Teatro Massimo, the largest in Italy, is a symbol of an ongoing cultural renaissance. The streets of the city teem with life at all hours, with locals who love to stroll in the squares, sipping espresso or savoring gelato, while animatedly chatting with friends and neighbors. Palermo is certainly a city that seduces with its imperfect beauty and contagious vitality. Siena. Nestled in the gentle hills of Tuscany, Siena is a medieval gem that has preserved its historical charm intact. The city, renowned for the Palio, a spectacular horse race held twice a year, is woven with vibrant history. Walking its streets means navigating a maze of narrow alleys, all leading to the magnificent Piazza del Campo, uniquely shaped like a shell, and the Palazzo Pubblico, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. The Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta, with its mosaic of black and white marbles, features a richly decorated interior that houses priceless artworks, including the famous inlaid floor, revealed only for a few weeks each year. Moreover, savoring a slice of the sweet treat called pan forte, while admiring the sunset over the Tuscan hills, further enriches the sensory experience of this timeless city. Ravenna. Ancient capital of the Western Roman Empire, Ravenna rises in the Romagna Plain, just a few kilometers from the Adriatic Sea. The city is famous for its Byzantine mosaics, which decorate churches and monuments dating back to the 5th and 6th centuries. The historic center houses 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Among these, the Basilica of San Vitale stands out for its octagonal architecture and mosaics, depicting Emperor Justinian and Empress Theodora. Nearby, the Mausoleum of Galla Placidia amazes visitors with its blue ceiling, studded with golden stars. Ravenna also houses the tomb of Dante Alighieri, the Italian poet who found refuge here in the last years of his life. Despite its rich history, Ravenna is a vibrant and modern city. Its port is one of the most important on the Adriatic Sea, while its beaches attract tourists from all over Europe during the summer. Monopoli. A city rich in charm and history, its maritime origin is evident. The port, always teeming with activity, is a constant coming and going of fishermen who sell their fresh catch upon return. The imposing walls surrounding the port tell stories of invasions and naval battles, testimony to a time when Monopoli was a bulwark against incursions from the sea. The historic center, on the other hand, is a maze of stone alleys, dotted with historic churches and lively squares. Sandy beaches, like Cala Porta Vecchia, offer an oasis of relaxation, while in the evening, the waterfront bars and restaurants come alive, attracting tourists looking for entertainment. Verona. Verona also deserves mention, a city that immediately evokes images of romantic balconies and ancient Shakespearean tragedies. Famous as the setting for the eternal love story between Romeo and Juliet, Verona offers much more than this literary myth. Venturing into its paved streets, you'll find yourself surrounded by magnificent Romanesque and Renaissance buildings. The Verona Arena, a well-preserved Roman amphitheater, is still the heart of the city today, hosting opera performances and concerts that attract visitors from all over the world. Do not miss Juliet's house, where you can admire the famous balcony and leave a love letter, continuing the tradition of thousands of lovers. The city is also rich in history, evidenced by its impressive medieval gates, the Basilica of San Zeno Maggiore and Castelvecchio. Ferrara. A journey into the Italian Renaissance, where elegance blends with history. The imposing Renaissance walls embrace a UNESCO World Heritage Historic Center, dominated by the majestic Castello Estense. Here, art flourished under the patronage of the Este family, leaving an indelible mark in every corner. Cycling along the tree-lined avenues, you discover a human-scale city where time flows slowly. The cathedral, with its Romanesque Gothic facade, tells centuries of faith and beauty, while Palazzo dei Diamanti shines as a unique architectural jewel in the world. You can't leave Ferrara without having tasted its famous cuisine, where pumpkin cappellacci reign supreme, offering a gastronomic experience that perfectly completes the cultural journey. Bergamo. Divided between upper city and lower city, Bergamo is a treasure of art and history, nestled in the Lombard Prealps. The Venetian walls, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, surround the upper city, a labyrinth of medieval alleys, welcoming squares, and Renaissance palaces. Piazza Vecchia, the city's beating heart, houses the Civic Tower and the Palazzo della Ragione, silent witnesses to centuries of history. The Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore amazes with its inlays and frescoes, while the Colleoni Chapel represents a masterpiece of Lombard Renaissance. Descending by funicular towards the lower city, you discover the modern face of the city, with its tree-lined avenues and elegant center. Bergamo is certainly a perfect blend of glorious past and vibrant present, a city that surprises at every corner. Matera. Matera, with its sassi declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, dating back to prehistoric times. The homes carved into the limestone and the complexes of rock-hewn churches create a unique and evocative urban landscape. Walking through the winding alleys and caves feels like a journey back in time. Matera has also been chosen as a location for numerous films due to its unique atmosphere. The city offers a rich culinary tradition, with typical dishes reflecting local history and culture, and is certainly a place to visit where history and tradition blend in an incredibly suggestive context. Genoa. Overlooks the sea like an amphitheater of stone and slate. Its narrow alleys in the historic center hide noble palaces and historic shops. Via Garibaldi, with its Rolli palaces, is a museum of Renaissance architecture. The majestic cathedral dominates Piazza de' Ferrari, Genoa's vibrant main square, where the city's history and modernity blend seamlessly amidst splashing fountains and elegant buildings. The Old Port, redesigned by Renzo Piano, is the new heart of the city, with the largest aquarium in Europe. Cremona. Eternal melodies resound through the streets of this city. Here, Stradivari's art still lives in the artisan workshops, where world-famous violins are born. The Torrazzo, a medieval bell tower among the tallest in Europe, watches over Piazza del Comune, the beating heart of the city. But Cremona is also a paradise for food lovers. The scent of nougat mingles with that of typical cold cuts, creating an intoxicating symphony of flavors. The city reveals its most authentic soul during the Nougat Festival in November, when the streets come alive with events, shows, and food stands, celebrating the sweet tradition that has made it famous worldwide. Lecce. A triumph of Baroque in the heart of Salento, where the golden Leccese stone stands out. The Basilica of Santa Croce, with its richly decorated facade, is the emblem of a style that reaches heights of extraordinary beauty here. This city is a journey through time, from the Roman amphitheater to the Baroque churches to the lively cafes of Piazza Sant'Oronzo. As the sun sets, the city lights up with a warm glow, transforming every walk into a continuous discovery, while the air is fragrant with sweets like pasticciotto, and the atmosphere is charged with that sweet Salento life that captures the heart. The magic of Lecce extends beyond its walls. Just a few kilometers away, the crystal-clear beaches of Salento open up, where the blue sea merges with the rocky coast, offering a perfect mix of urban culture and natural beauty. Trieste. A border city of encounters, Trieste fascinates with its Central European character and its unbreakable bond with the sea. Piazza Unità d'Italia, Europe's largest square facing the water, is the beating heart of the city, where Habsburg elegance blends with the blue of the Adriatic. Miramare Castle, a white jewel on the promontory, tells stories of love and tragedy, while the city's cafes evoke a literary atmosphere that has inspired numerous writers. The Bora, a blustering wind that sweeps the streets, gives this city a clear air and unique light, offering magnificent panoramas of the city and the Gulf. Here, the cuisine blends European and Mediterranean traditions, offering unique flavors to be savored in one of the historic osmice, or refreshment points in the surroundings. Ancona. A port city embracing the Adriatic, it surprises with its history and unexpected beauty. The Cathedral of San Ciriaco, in a dominant position on Monte Guasco, watches over the city like a lighthouse, offering a spectacular view of the port and the sea. The narrow streets, with their blend of historic alleys and modern squares, tell the story of the city's everyday life. Walking through the center, means immersing yourself in an authentic atmosphere where ancient traditions merge with a vibrant contemporary vibe. The Cardetto Park, the city's green lung, offers panoramic walks among ancient fortifications and lush nature. Worth mentioning is also the local cuisine, rich in sea flavors, which should be accompanied by the fine wines from the region hills. Bari. The beating heart of Puglia, it's a mix of tradition and modernity. The old town, a maze of alleys, houses treasures such as the Basilica of San Nicola, a pilgrimage destination and symbol of the city. Here, the air smells of freshly baked focaccia and echoes with the voices of ladies preparing orecchiette pasta on their doorsteps. The waterfront, one of the most beautiful in Italy, invites relaxing walks with views of the crystal-clear sea. The Petruzzelli Theatre, a phoenix risen from the ashes, is the emblem of the city's cultural renaissance. The newer part of Bari, on the other hand, with its wide avenues and elegant shops, shows the contemporary face of the city. Lucca. Nestled in the Tuscan countryside, Lucca is famous for its intact Renaissance walls, now serving as a circular public park for walkers and cyclists. This medieval city boasts a network of historic streets where one can discover enchanting squares like Piazza dell'Anfiteatro, built on the remnants of a Roman amphitheater. The Cathedral of San Martino and the Church of San Michele in Foro are architectural gems that exemplify Italian medieval art, with magnificent facades and precious interiors. Lucca is also a vibrant cultural hub, hosting annual events such as the Lucca Comics and Games, one of the largest comic book festivals in Europe, and the Lucca Summer Festival, featuring concerts by international artists. Modena. A city of fascinating contrasts, it blends history and technological innovation. The Romanesque Cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stands majestically in the historic center, while nearby roars the heart of sports car factories, celebrated in the Enzo Ferrari Museum, a temple for enthusiasts. The Ducal Palace, now home to the Military Academy, testifies to the glorious Este past. But it's the food that steals the show. Traditional balsamic vinegar, Parmigiano Reggiano, and local cuisine are true works of art. With its mix of tradition and innovation, Modena fascinates with unique energy and genuine hospitality. Piacenza. A discreet jewel of the Po Valley, it surprises with its refined beauty. Piazza Cavalli, the heart of the city, is dominated by the Gothic palace and equestrian statues. The Romanesque Cathedral and the Church of San Sisto house precious artistic treasures. The arcades of Corso Vittorio Emanuele invite pleasant walks in the historic center. The surrounding countryside, dotted with medieval castles, offers fairy tale scenarios. The Po River, which flows nearby, reminds of the historical importance of this city as a crossroads of trade and cultures. Catania. Nestled between Mount Etna and the Ionian Sea, Catania is a unique city of strong contrasts. The black of lava and the white of Baroque create a unique urban landscape, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Piazza del Duomo, the heart of the city, is dominated by the Cathedral of Sant'Agata and the Fountain of the Elephant, symbol of Catania. The lively Pescheria Market, on the other hand, offers a total immersion in Sicilian culture. The Urbino Castle, an ancient royal residence, now houses the Civic Museum, while the Bellini Theatre is a gem of opera. Finally, Via Etnea, the main artery, offers a spectacular view of the volcano. Urbino. More than a village, Urbino is a small Renaissance city in the Marche region, universally recognized as a center of great cultural importance, earning it a UNESCO World Heritage designation. The heart of this Renaissance marvel is the Palazzo Ducale, a 15th century architectural masterpiece with its imposing facade and richly decorated interiors. Urbino is also the birthplace of Raphael, and the house where the painter was born is now a museum dedicated to his life and works. Strolling through its narrow streets, one can breathe the air of a time when this city was a reference point for art and culture in Europe. Ascoli Piceno is known for its rich history and wonderfully preserved architecture. The city offers culture, history, and art, and attracts visitors from all over the world. One of its most distinctive aspects is its historic center, predominantly built in travertine, a local stone that gives the city a characteristic light and luminous color. The heart of the city is Piazza del Popolo, considered one of the most beautiful squares in Italy. This elegant square is surrounded by historic buildings, including the Palazzo dei Capitani del Popolo, the Church of San Francesco, and historic cafes, such as Caffè Meletti, famous for its aniseta, which is a local liqueur. Nestled between the Sibillini Mountains and the Adriatic coast, Ascoli Piceno also offers beautiful opportunities for hiking in nature and outdoor activities. Cagliari. Capital of Sardinia, rises on 7 hills overlooking the Gulf of Angels. The Castello district, with its towers and bastions, dominates the city, offering characteristic views of the sea. The city's millennial history can be felt among the ancient Roman ruins, medieval churches, and Art Nouveau palaces. The city also embraces nature, with Molentarges Park being a habitat for pink flamingos, and the long Poeto Beach, an 8 kilometers oasis just steps from the center. Cagliari is also a dynamic university city with a thriving cultural scene. Its cuisine blends land and sea traditions, while the mild climate invites outdoor living all year round. Vicenza is an authentic laboratory of architectural beauty with numerous Renaissance masterpieces that testify to the genius of Andrea Palladio, and is a leading city in the goldsmith and textile sectors, a center of excellence for Italian craftsmanship. The historic center is undoubtedly a vibrant and pulsating space, where centuries-old tradition and contemporary innovation harmoniously meet. The Basilica Palladiana, a masterpiece by the architect who lends his name to the Palladian style, regularly hosts contemporary art exhibitions, a symbol of a city that doesn't rest on its glorious past, but constantly looks to the future. Vicenza is also a surprisingly green city, surrounded by the profiles of the Barici Hills, which offer an oasis of lush nature and scenic trails just steps away from the urban center. Padua is a jewel of Veneto, combining history, art, and science. Its beating heart is the majestic Piazza delle Erbe, animated by colorful markets and historic cafes. Nearby, the Basilica of St. Anthony attracts pilgrims from all over the world. The city boasts one of the oldest universities in Europe, founded in 1222, which still gives it a lively and cosmopolitan atmosphere. Finally, Prato della Valle is one of the largest squares in Europe, ideal for walks and gatherings. The city is crossed by canals and ancient bridges, and thanks to the presence of the oldest botanical garden in the world, it perfectly combines tradition and innovation. Noto. Noto is renowned for its vast Baroque heritage, making it a key stop in the Val di Noto, a UNESCO heritage site. The streets are a riot of ornate palaces and gilded churches, which glow beautifully at sunset. The recently restored Cathedral of San Nicolò is the city's heartbeat, with its imposing facade and richly decorated interior. Moreover, the town is also famous for its spring festival, the Infiorata, where the streets of the historic center are covered with intricate designs made entirely of flower petals. Gubbio. Gubbio is one of the oldest medieval villages in Umbria, known for its authentic atmosphere and well-preserved traditions. The historic center is a maze of ancient streets that climb steeply up to the Palazzo dei Consoli, an imposing Gothic structure that dominates the city. Every year, the village hosts the Festa dei Ceri, a folkloric event where citizens run through the streets carrying enormous candles in a race of strength and faith. Additionally, the Basilica of Sant'Ubaldo, located atop the hill with a view over the valley, is a place of pilgrimage and profound spiritual significance. Treviso. A city where placid waters flow in canals, reflecting arches of ancient palaces and fronds of weeping willows. The city breathes to the slow rhythm of its waterways, but its heart beats in step with innovation. Behind the frescoed facades of medieval palaces, artisan workshops transform into cutting-edge design ateliers. Piazza dei Signori, moreover, is the elegant living room of the city, welcoming chatter from the elderly and brainstorming from young startups. Treviso skillfully mixes tradition and future in a cocktail as effervescent as its bubbles. Pavia. An ancient university city south of Milan, is renowned for its rich history and culture. Its historic center is characterized by stone streets and historic buildings, which house one of Italy's oldest universities, the University of Pavia, founded in 1361. Among the most significant monuments is the covered bridge, which crosses the Ticino River, offering characteristic views of the city. A short distance away is the Certosa di Pavia, a masterpiece of Renaissance and Gothic architecture, famous for its grand facade and rich decorative details. The city is a center of cultural activities, with events celebrating both its historical heritage and vibrant student life. Udine is an elegant example of fusion between Venetian and Austro-Hungarian influences. Dominated by the imposing castle, the city offers panoramas that span across its lively squares and historic cafes, perfect places to immerse yourself in its rich cultural atmosphere. It is also renowned for its artistic and cultural events, which attract visitors from all over the world, making it a hub of dynamism and creativity. The city is also equipped with numerous green spaces and historical sites, which invite discovery and relaxation, creating a perfect balance between history, culture, and modern life. Bolzano. Nestled among the peaks of the Dolomites, represents a unique crossroads between Italian and German cultures, evident in its architecture and the bilingualism of the population. The historic center, with its medieval arcades and the market in Piazza Erbe, is a vivid example of harmonious coexistence between past and present. The city hosts the famous archaeological museum where Ötzi, the Iceman, is preserved, and it regularly comes alive with festivals and celebrations, showcasing its rich cultural diversity. Bolzano is also an ideal starting point for explorations in the Dolomites, offering access to numerous outdoor activities. Salerno. A city that opens to the sea like a natural amphitheater, with hills behind and the blue of the water in front. The waterfront, redesigned by great architects, has become the city's living room, where people stroll enjoying the sea breeze. In the historic center, medieval alleys intertwine like a labyrinth, hiding ancient churches and artisan workshops. The Garden of Minerva, Europe's first botanical garden, is a green oasis, while the Maritime Station, with its shell-like shape, is an example of modern architecture that dialogues with the sea. Salerno is not just the gateway to the coast, but a city that looks to the future without forgetting its roots. Aosta. It's a small city nestled in a valley surrounded by majestic mountains. Its Roman walls, still well preserved, enclose a historic center where every era has left its mark. The Arch of Augustus and the Roman Theatre testify to a glorious past, while the Collegiate Church of Sant'Orso is a jewel of medieval art. But the city is also a lively alpine center, a starting point for hiking and winter sports. The Saturday market animates the streets of the center, mixing typical products and local crafts, while the thermal centers attract visitors all year round. Trento. An alpine capital, combines Italian elegance with Central European precision. Buonconsiglio Castle, the ancient residence of Prince Bishops, dominates the city with its imposing mass. Piazza Duomo, with its Neptune fountain, is the beating heart of the city, where history and daily life intertwine. Trento is also the gateway to the Dolomites, with nearby mountains offering skiing in winter and hiking in summer. Also, for this reason, the city knows how to be both historic and innovative, a place where quality of life is measured between culture, nature, and technology. Viterbo. Known as the City of Popes for its historic role in the medieval papacy, is a jewel in the heart of Lazio. The city is famous for its well-preserved medieval quarter called San Pellegrino, where cobblestone streets and ancient palaces create an atmosphere of bygone times. The Papal Palace, site of the first conclave in history, dominates with its grandeur. But Viterbo is also renowned for its natural thermal baths, which attract tourists seeking relaxation and wellness, and each year it celebrates its history and traditions with various events, drawing nature and art lovers from around the world. Pisa. Pisa is much more than its famous Leaning Tower. The Square of Miracles, with the cathedral, baptistry, and Camposanto, forms a unique complex in the world, where white marble shines under the Tuscan sun. But the city doesn't stop there. The Arno flows lazily through it, reflecting ancient palaces and historic bridges. Lungarno Mediceo, with its colorful buildings, is the perfect place for a sunset stroll. Pisa is also a lively university city, with students from all over the world animating its squares and cafes. The San Martino Quarter, finally, with its narrow alleys, hides artisan workshops and trattorias where you can taste papa al pomodoro. Bologna. The learned, the fat, the red, three adjectives that encapsulate the soul of this unique city. The porticos, which wind for kilometers, offer shelter and beauty in every season, while Piazza Maggiore, the beating heart of the city, is dominated by the majestic Basilica of San Petronio. The two towers, symbol of the city, challenge the sky like sentinels of time. The oldest university in Europe fills the streets with young people and new ideas, but the city is also a paradise for food lovers. Bologna is a city that knows how to be classic and alternative, traditional and innovative, always with a smile and a plate of tagliatelle ready to share. Parma. It's a city of art and the capital of the Italian food valley. Piazza Garibaldi, the beating heart of the city, is the favorite meeting point for Parma's residents and reflects the vibrant social life of the city. The baptistery, a Romanesque Gothic gem, stands next to the cathedral, creating an unmistakable skyline that dominates the historic center. But Parma is also a feast for the palate. Parmigiano Reggiano and prosciutto crudo are just the beginning of a unique gastronomic journey. In the cafes of the center, you can still breathe the atmosphere of the Belle Époque, and it's also for this reason that it knows how to be an elegant and popular, historic and contemporary city. It is therefore a city that nourishes body and mind with the same refinement. Como. It's a jewel nestled between lake and mountains. The old town, enclosed within medieval walls, hides quiet squares and characteristic alleys. The cathedral, with its Gothic Renaissance facade, dominates the central square. The lakefront, with its gardens and funicular, offers romantic walks and wonderful views. But the lake is not just a backdrop, but an integral part of city life, with its boats, water sports, or historic villas like Villa Olmo, which host cultural events. Como knows how to be elegant and popular, a place where nature and culture blend in perfect balance, a step away from the frenzy of Milan. Arezzo. An Etruscan and medieval city rises on a hill that dominates 4 valleys. The Piazza Grande, with its sloping shape, is a natural stage, while the Basilica of San Francesco houses the frescoes of Piero della Francesca, a Renaissance treasure. The city is also a center of Italian goldsmithing, with workshops that blend tradition and contemporary design. The Prato Park, on the other hand, offers a green oasis in the heart of the city, perfect perhaps for a contemplative break, while the Antiques Fair every month transforms the center into an open-air museum. Mantua. Renaissance jewel of Lombardy is reflected in the waters of its 3 artificial lakes. Dominated for centuries by the Gonzaga family, the city retains a princely elegance that can be felt in every corner. The heart of the city is Piazza Sordello, overlooked by the majestic Ducal Palace, which is a city within a city, with over 500 rooms and internal gardens. The streets of the historic center tell centuries of history, with elegant palaces and welcoming squares that invite discovery. Small but full of charm, Mantua embodies the essence of the Italian city, where history, culture, and quality of life blend in perfect harmony. La Spezia. Overlooks the sea like a natural amphitheater, embracing one of the most beautiful gulfs in Italy. The military port, once the beating heart of the city, today coexists with a new tourist and cultural vocation. Walking along the seafront, you breathe the salty air, while your gaze ranges from the hills to the islands of the Gulf. The historic center hides small treasures, artisan workshops, colorful markets, and taverns where you can taste local specialties. But this city is not just sea. In fact, behind it, we find the Cinque Terre, which offer incredible views and trails for trekking lovers. The city, a starting point for exploring this paradise, is rediscovering its beauty, skillfully mixing seafaring tradition and innovation.